Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, smash the like button on this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, as you guys are aware. Guys, we've just had a heavyweight fight. Luis Ortiz beating Charles Martin in the sixth round. Bizarre kind of fight. Wow. Wow. All I'm going to say is I said in the live stream to you guys that I believe Luis Ortiz would destroy Charles Martin because I told you guys I don't rate Martin very much. If I'm honest with you, I've never been a huge fan. I think he was overrated. He won a world title by default. Um, but what really staggered me in this fight is how slow Luis Ortiz has gone and how much Luis Ortiz has deteriorated. Luis Ortiz has deteriorated massively since the Deontay Wilder fight. Oh my goodness. I actually saw his deterioration in the second fight against Deontay Wilder. I could clearly see he had no punch resistance. He had no legs underneath him. This man is like a sitting duck now, you know? And Luis Ortiz is so slow right now. Like, he never used to be fast, even when he was a bit younger and he was a bit more nimble. He never was very fast. But he is so slow. Like, he was making Charles Martin look quick in there. Like, and Charles Martin is slow. And he was making Charles... By the way, Charles Martin fought a decent fight. He was actually winning the fight. He dropped Luis Ortiz twice in the fight. Luis Ortiz, like I said, had no legs under him. He looks like his punch resistance is totally gone. I actually thought at one point Luis Ortiz would be a problem for like Fury, Joshua, all of those guys back like 5-6 years ago. I thought he was kind of a boogeyman. No one wanted to fight him. At this point, Dillian White, Tyson Fury, Joe Joyce, all of those guys would destroy Luis Ortiz right now. Luis Ortiz got through this fight because of his punch power. In the sixth round, he hit Martin with a left hand, and Martin was all over the place. Martin was done. As soon as that punch landed on his chin, Martin didn't know where he was. He was all over the place. You know, his legs went, and he was basically knocked out on his feet. How the referee didn't stop that fight after that punch landed, I don't know. His hand got tangled in the ropes. He then got back up and took a load of more shots and took a load of unanswered shots. And then he went down. And then the referee rightfully called the fight off. Martin was all over the place. And 3-4 years ago, if they had fought, I think Ortiz would have knocked Martin out in probably 1 or 2 rounds. And Martin has improved since the Joshua fight. I will give him that. He does look like he's got better. But Luis Ortiz, even at this point where Luis Ortiz is completely shot to bits, is too much for Martin. And that just shows how poor Martin is, because this is probably the worst version. And if you can't beat this Ortiz, then you're not a top heavyweight. And Martin's not a top heavyweight. You know, I think he's improved massively since Joshua. He has got better. But it just shows you he couldn't even beat... Like, Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz the second time, I don't know, a couple of years ago probably. And Luis Ortiz looked bad then. Now he's even worse. He's even older. His legs look really bad. He can't take a punch anymore. His legs are very wobbly. And I just don't think he can compete against any top level fighter. Like I said, I think at this point, Joe Joyce would batter Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is like, don't get me wrong, in Luis Ortiz's prime, I know people say Luis Ortiz never fought anybody, but trust me, a lot of the guys were avoiding him. Like, they didn't want to go near Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was too dangerous. And that's why I give Deontay Wilder a lot of respect for taking that fight and winning, because Ortiz is very, very dangerous. That left hand is very, very dangerous. Look, he basically was losing this fight. He was looking terrible. But basically, the left hand of Luis Ortiz got him out of that fight. And that was the left hand that a lot of fighters probably dreaded, avoided, because they knew that he has power. Ortiz has serious power. And even when he fought Wilder the first time, the second time, Ortiz was very old. You know, he was still good at that point, but he was so old. even at that point. And when you're fighting like a top heavyweight, it's going to be difficult at that age to get through, get through it. And that's what happened against Wilder. He ran out of gas. He is old. But again, I knew that he would beat Martin, even though I was watching the fight and I was thinking, okay, I might have got this wrong here because Ortiz looks really bad. But in the end, the class paid off and Ortiz's power got him through the fight. He landed a left hand and that was it. That was the end of the fight because, Martin was just basically out on his feet. But yeah, I do worry for Luis Ortiz going forward. I don't think this guy can compete. He looks about as shot as Povetkin was, but he's still got his power. That's the thing. Like with a heavyweight and a heavyweight boxer, you don't lose your power. And Ortiz has still got his power. But right now, he looks about as shot as Povetkin. So Povetkin was shot when he fought Dillian White the first time and second time. But Luis Ortiz looks like that. But he's still got his power. He's still got that dynamite in that left hand. But against a younger, better, more skilled fighter, he's going to get knocked out. Imagine him fighting Dillian White, someone with that rough style, bringing it forward. Or even Derek Chisora at this point would probably knock, Luis Ortiz out. And that's saying something, because I'm a prime Luis Ortiz. Derek Chisora doesn't win that fight. But this version, whose legs aren't under him, who's shot to bits, even Joseph Parker would beat and these are, for me, are they top 10 heavyweights? I don't know. I don't think so. Hrgovic and guys like that would beat Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, unfortunately, now his best days are way behind him. And it's sad because I believe Luis Ortiz at one point in his career could have been a force in the heavyweight division. But unfortunately, the fights didn't materialize. He's now having trouble with a guy who I think 4 or 5 years ago would have been knocked out in 1 or 2 rounds against him. Because Luis Ortiz at this point is so slow. He's so slow. If you watch that fight, he was so slow. And Luis Ortiz was never a fast guy, but he was much faster than what I saw today. Like, he was so slow. And unfortunately, I just can't see him beating any heavyweight of any note, to be honest with you. Of any note. Like, Martin wouldn't beat any heavyweight I can think of, like Parker, Joe Joyce. Forget the top tier guys, the guys that we know. He definitely don't beat those guys, but he doesn't beat anyone of note. And Luis Ortiz was struggling with him. He got dropped twice against him. So I think age is and it's sad because I really like Ortiz. And the stories, Luis Ortiz's story is inspiring about his daughter and stuff. And he's a very inspiring guy fighting at such a old age and still doing well. Look, he just knocked Martin out. He's a warrior. He's a proper fighting man. But I just think you can't fight age, man. You can't fight age. And they say he's 42. He might be 50 plus. We don't know, but he looks really old. Like Martin hit Ortiz with a jab, I think in the 4th round, and Ortiz went down near the end of the round. And Ortiz's legs looked bad off a jab. And Ortiz was always a guy that I always looked at and thought this guy has got very good punch resistance. And he was put down by a jab. And he was smiling in the corner. And while he was smiling, I was looking at his face and he just looked so old. You could tell looking at him, he just looks so old. Like, he looks really old. So yeah, I don't see him competing against the top heavyweights. I don't know what you guys think, but I can't see him competing against any heavyweight of wow. Like, the power's still there. So if he catches you, he could hurt you. But to be honest, is he going to catch anybody with how slow he is? Like, Martin's not exactly fast, is he? But Martin was looking pretty fast in there compared to Ortiz, and Martin's slow. And he, like I said, he just caught him with the left hand, and Ortiz has still got power. He's a big guy. He's a heavyweight, and power is something that doesn't leave you, and he's still got power. He's still got power. But unfortunately, if you fight someone that's a bit more nimble-footed, he's going to find it very difficult to land because he's very easy to read and he's very slow. So, yeah, I think Ortiz's glory days might be behind him. His best days might be behind him. I think, unfortunately, he needed the shot when he was with Eddie Hearn. He needed those big names at that point because he still had a lot of life left at that point. You know, he's still old, but now he's way past his sell by date. From that performance against the guy that I would have 5, 6 years ago said he beats within 1 or 2 rounds and comfortably, to a point where he's actually getting dropped twice against him, not looking too good, looking very slow, looking labored. Yeah, that was, if you're Ortiz's handlers, you're trying to get him the biggest fight possible to cash out, because you know his days are numbered as a fighter. Like, he's not the fighter he was. And I like Luis Ortiz. I'm a big fan of Luis Ortiz. I really like him. As I said, I like his story. He's inspiring. He's still fighting, and he's just beaten Martin. And I wanted him to beat Martin. I wanted him to beat Martin, but it's just that unfortunately, I don't see a future in him doing something at heavyweight at this point. And it's sad because, like I said, Luis Ortiz was a very dangerous fight for a lot of heavyweights back in the day, but nobody wanted to fight him. And it's sad that now that looks way past his best, and he's just probably going to be an easy work for some of the top guys if they fight him. And I think a lot of the guys will want to fight him now. I think your Hergoviches, your Joe Joyces, they all want to fight him because they know he's there for the taking. You can clearly see he's there for the taking on that performance against Martin. Like I said, Martin 5, 6 years ago wouldn't have been able to compete with Ortiz. And now he was competing, he was winning the fight, he dropped him twice. And I thought, there was an upset on the cards, but then, Ortiz, with the power that he's got, and he is the better boxer out of the two, he landed the left hand, which completely, just knocked Martin out on his feet. But the performance prior to that was very poor from Ortiz. And that's just the age taking its toll, nature taking its course. Yeah. I think Ortiz is. I think like I said, if you're Ortiz's handlers and you're Ortiz's team, you're looking to get him in the biggest fight possible, the biggest payday for him possible, and then so we can see off into the sunset, because I don't think he's got that long left in the sport based on that performance. But that's just my opinion. But nevertheless, a good knockout, decent fight, and a good win for Ortiz. Let's see what happens. Let's see what Ortiz does. I didn't watch Ortiz's interview at the end because I want to do this video and then get off to bed. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the fight. Let me know what you made of it. Were you impressed? Were you not impressed? What did you make of Ortiz's knockout of Martin? Leave your thoughts, guys, in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.